I've been working from home for 5 years now, and it saved my introverted ass to actually going into an office and physically communicating with people. But I am here now and still going strong working from home because of these tips that I shall bestow upon you. In order to keep my sanity, I try my best to follow these tips, and I somehow manage to follow at least 70% at a time, which is all good. And the first one would be to set a time to work and set a time to play. In our modern workforce, most remote jobs nowadays are knowledge based. Due to this nature of our work, most of us can't really disconnect from our jobs that easily. Let's consider people who are working with their hands for a moment, like carpenters, furniture makers, or mechanics. Once their day is over, they just put down their tools, wash up, and that's that. I was a miner before in a mine that used to be run by my dad, and by the end of our work, we would just do the usual. We store our gear, lock everything up, and then go home. Other workers would go to a bar and loosen up, while others would go to their families, etc. Whatever. What I'm getting at is that before, work and the place of work are related, but now with work being remote and knowledge base, our workplace is our heads, which is something that we can't really leave that easily. Our laptops and phones are just means to communicate what we cooked up in our heads. In my field of software engineering, if I was tasked to create a feature, that would mean I am working on it regardless if I'm in front of the computer or not. That's why I try my best to discipline myself to constrain my work within the same hours of the day, because if I don't, it will consume me. It will affect my relationships because I wouldn't be present when I'm with them, and it would also affect my mental health, which is already not so good since I have BPD, which means borderline personality disorder, and we'll talk about how I manage work and BPD at some other time. Although when I'm not at work, that is the time which is for play, I just go out there and jog, hit the gym, watch movies, read books, create videos like this one, ultimately making memories. And the second tip would be to be with friends. What is not the nicest thing about working in an office? You don't get to choose the people you are with, and vice versa. There are people who are also, admit it or not that fond of you and I. This was a problem when we were working in a shared office. On a typical day, we were all getting along, laughing, making jokes, and telling stories, etc. Then one moment, the owner of that said shared office would try to engage the most awkward conversation into our group. Then our whole group would freeze and wouldn't speak. But one brave soul, one of us would take one for the team and sacrifice him or herself to talk to the guy.
I volunteer as tribute!
It was never fun when he tried to make conversation. That's when we decided to rent our own place and work there instead. That's how bad it got. But also, renting our own place, setting up a good internet connection in there is a lot cheaper than going into a shared office. This way, we can even invite other people to work there. We don't even charge them, and it's much better because we can set up our own rules. But this tip is a bit optional. I know not everyone is blessed and lucky to have friends that tag along with them all the time, and I know a lot of people are not fond of having people around when they're working, so you can disregard this and you can go to the next step if you want. When me and my friend got our first remote jobs, we were so excited to get our first paychecks because we wanted to move out of our parents' place. In my country, which is very family centric, it's quite taboo to be out of the house at that age because we were only 20 at the time. Anyway, the first place we got, we lived with two more guys who are also working remotely. We were all not programmers, but it was fun to have an office but with just the people you jive with and have fun with. We would even feel safe if we vent about our work to each other because nobody really works in the same company, so there's really no need to worry about others tattling on us, so we can just vent away. The third one would be to switch environments. As of now, I don't work with friends as much since we work in different time zones. Although we work under the same roof, we still don't see each other as often because while others work, some are sleeping, and vice versa. So it's quite sad from time to time when I'm always working alone. The best way for me to fight the boredom and sadness is to switch environments. I sometimes ride my motorcycle to go to my parents' house or work in a coffee shop or even to a friend's place who's also working the same hours as me. This refreshes the mind and shifts the monotony of working from home, sitting and staring at the same computer, staring at the same four walls of my house. Working from another place makes my original workplace feel brand new when I return back. Instead of feeling bored or resentful on going back to that same old screen, I would feel excited because finally I get to work on a wide curved monitor again, which is a lot better than working on a small laptop monitor. Yeah, and those are the 3 tips. Hopefully that added some value into your life, and see you on the next one. Due to this nature of our work,